I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. That would be enlightening, though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Bizel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me? Well, that sounded genuine. If you weren't looking for me, do me a favor and pretend I never said anything. I left the Proving on my own business, and I have no intention of discussing it. I am, so if you're not here to... How do you know who I am? Don't think there's anything you can say to shame me that I haven't already told myself.
You new in the fights? I don't remember seeing you before. Name's Guidon. I just tendered my resignation. Somehow I don't think the ancestors will favor me today. I bet he did. That man thinks nothing is beneath him. Well, you could just tell him I had my reasons. It's not so much what happened, as what's going to. I heard from a reliable source Lord Harrowmont's already given up the throne. Balin called this whole proving to let his lordship save face when he concedes. Exactly. I'd back Harrowmont as he asked, but if he's giving up, I won't sacrifice my family so he can retire with dignity. Oh? And where did you hear this that's more reliable than a member of the Assembly? I don't think so. Lord Harrowmont's not talking to anyone these days. I'm sorry. You seem sincere, and I wish you luck. But if you're wrong, you don't have to live in the consequences.
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight? Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed? I'll just call you Grey Warden, since those elven names are such a mouthful. We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start? That's what I like to hear. I will warn you, though. This is your last chance to make preparations or meet the competition. Once the fights begin, there are no new additions to the roster. All withdrawals are treated as losses and a sign of the ancestors' disfavor. Do you want to start, or would you like some time? The fighters' quarters are behind the ring. Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Suwern of the Warrior Caste. Many of you remember when Suwern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him, in Lord Harrowmont's name, is a member of the famed Grey Wardens.
In the name of House Idukan and our future King Balin.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! That was an exciting start, Warden. Suwern is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent? Very well. We'll be waiting. Good, you're back. I was about to start looking for you. Are you ready to fight? The crowd is eager to see another victory. Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round, Harrowmont's champion takes on the notorious duo, the Warrior Caste Twin Terrors, now fighting for Prince Balin, Biaja and Lukja.
May the stone honor you.
When you fall.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! Well, that was an exciting bout. 2-on-1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Harrowmont's champion has held the field so far, but how will he do against one of the legendary Silent Sisters? We'll find out as the Warden faces Lady Hanashan, who proves her worth to Paragon Ashtith the Grey by cutting out her own tongue. And to our Prince Balin by fighting in his name. First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! Harrowmont will be pleased, Warden. The Silent Sister support was a great boost for Balin. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round is paired combat. Just as Kiatshit fought as King Bloodlick II, defending our empire, so have dwarves always fought alongside a second. Master of all weapons, prisoner of none, Wojciech Ivo has never won the same way twice. What will he do today, lords and ladies? And will it win the day for Prince Balin? Grey Warden, choose your second, for you face Wojciech Ivo and Valans. Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! Wojciech Ivo is one of the best this arena has seen, Warden. Harrowmont picked wisely. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Only 2 warriors remain. Fighting for his royal cousin Balin, the Jotun Iduken has led his team to triumph over every unit so far. Challenging him on behalf of Lord Harrowmont, the Grey Warden has risen from nothing to stand at the competition's summit. Each will lead a full unit of 4 soldiers to see once and for all whom the ancestors favor.
You fight well, but your judgment is questionable. The throne will never leave House Iduken.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army. Do you deny this Grey Warden has earned the championship? Then it is my honor to declare this Grey Warden champion of the Proving, who has shown that the ancestors favor Lord Harrowmont. I'd call that arrogant, but your performance justifies it. It was a gift, just to watch you fight, Warden.
But, champion, I hear your performance in the Proving was nothing short of amazing. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Harrowmont will see you now. His lordship is looking forward to meeting you.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyral Harrowmont, and I thank you for your efforts to help me preserve King Endrin's throne. You may not know the story, but Balin is actually the youngest of 3. Endrin's eldest, Trian, was murdered in the Deep Roads not a year ago. His middle son was found standing over the body and was exiled. But I've always found it suspicious that Balin knew just where to look. Endrin loved his sons too much to voice such suspicions. But he knew Balin's only interest in ruling was to further his own power. Balin resents me because I did not believe his setup. I wanted a full investigation, a trial, not this knee-jerk reaction. It speaks poorly of Balin that Endrin himself was the first to think that he should not be trusted. I have never sought the throne. My role was to serve Endrin, first as his advisor, then as an elected Desher in the Assembly. Harrowmont has never been king, and I always assumed Trian would rule after his father. But both Endrin and my colleagues have asked me to step up, and I will not back down when Orzammar needs me. The Assembly represents the voices of the wisest, most noble families. While we need a single king to preside over important functions and lead us in battle, the Assembly better represents all in Orzammar. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king. And right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs? The Assembly receives pleas every day from the common folk, begging that something be done about her. So far, no one has managed. Jarvia hides her base in Dust Town, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but casteless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city. Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dust Town. Do whatever it takes to see that justice is served. I heard the news. Jarvia and her carter are dead. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect them to surrender. And did Orzammar, and me, a great service. I have no desire to go back on my word. But when Balin heard the news about Jarvia, he raised the stakes. He is forcing a vote in the next 2 days. By law, that prevents the Assembly from hearing any other pleas. To help with your troops, I will require your assistance one last time. Do you know anything of the Paragon Branka? Branka is a paragon, the only one we have been blessed with in 4 generations. 2 years ago, she took her entire house into the deep roads on a mad quest to uncover ancient secrets. No one's heard from her since. Were she to return and endorse someone for the throne, the Assembly would be honor-bound to accept her wishes. My men traced Branka's disappearance to an ancient crossroads known as Caradin's Cross. It is many miles below where we normally venture, but I can provide a map to lead you there. Just enter the deep roads through the mines. Thank you again, and may the ancestors guide your steps.
Lords of the Assembly, I call for order. This argument gets us nowhere.
Then why these delaying tactics? I call for a vote right now. My father has one living child to assume the Idukan throne. Who would deny him that?
Your father made me swear on his deathbed you would not succeed him.
I apologize for the interruption, Lord Stewart, but the Grey Warden has returned.
We should let the Warden speak. What news do you bring?
Branka still lives. Though she's mad as a nug at a tanner shop. She finally found the Anvil of the Void, and chose to stay in the deep to work it. She tasked this Grey Warden to give her crown to Orzammar's next king, chosen by the ancestors as a first in a millennium to lead a Golem army against a blight.
And we are supposed to trust this? The word of a drunken sot and a Grey Warden known to be in Harrowmont's pocket?
Silence! Then tell us, Grey Warden, which king did Paragon Branka endorse?
I appreciate your forthrightness, Warden. You have acted with grace through this entire torturous process.
Let the memories find you worthy. First amidst the lords of the houses, the King of Orzammar.
I will not abide by this!
The ancestors have spoken.
Would you let a surfacer decide the fate of the dwarves?
Watch out! They brought weapons!
Guards! Balin would defy the word of a paragon, nor that so many would follow him. But most of Orzammar has seen him for what he really is, and I trust we will bring this insurgency under control. I prefer to be known as a just and compassionate king. Strong too often comes to mean tyrannical, but I will not leave this uprising unpunished. More than for my crown, I thank you for aiding Branka's recovery of our greatest treasure. With the anvil in our hands, I need risk no dwarven lives to counter this blight. I will send Branka whatever she needs to forge a Golem army. When you face the Archdemon, Warden, it will be with stone giants at your back, not mere men. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get to the palace and set our plans in motion. This is the staff I carried as King Endrin's II. Take it as a reminder of your place in Orzammar. I wish you luck against the Blight Warden. May we foster another 4 centuries of peace.